Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Welcome back to So Well Media. We're here with the same crew. And guys, I just got one thing to say. Bravo. 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 Even a third episode, and we're still cooking. Especially that ending fight, the escape of Red's Keep.
Red Hook.
Red Hook. Red Hook, thank you. Was chef's kiss, honestly. And the choreography, I think in this way, the choreography complaints I saw a lot of people from Born Again season 1, I felt they heard, and I don't think had nothing to do with choreography other than really just camera position of how they've actually are able to see the fight and tracking the camera. But then at the same time, you have to go back to Netflix Daredevil cinematography to go back to the basics, even though we're in the MCU and we can swing and do all the other stuff and everything, but like no, let's get back to the basics. And they got back to their roots in this episode, and you felt it. But yeah, Phil, as we're getting into the trial of Swordsman and everything, Heather, who is going through her mental psychosis, we see that she has some little secrets that she's hiding in some drawers, and everything. But yeah, what was your thoughts on just Heather in general in this episode? Because I've had some thoughts for her, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
The audacity of this bitch, the audacity of this woman, this character, right? Like, oh my god, holy shit. First of all, why does she have the Muse mask? Like, what is going on here? And just like the stoic look on her face of satisfaction during the whole trial is just like, wow, you are all in with Fisk. You are drinking the Kool-Aid. You are perfectly fine with what you're doing. It is despicable, but the actor's doing a fantastic job, and I think that was the whole point. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that we are not supposed to be a fan of this character right now, and I think they are giving Heather everything you need to be like, yo, she's fucked. Like, and not the fun way either, but like she is just fucked off in the head, right? And I just, man, great performance by the Margarita Levieva, I think. I don't remember the actress' name, but she's giving it her all. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but at the same time, I'm sickened, and I think that's the point. So, bravo to the cast and crew for conveying that.
J. King, what was your thoughts?
I have similarly, where it's just like, no, props to the actress, because I really hate this character right now. I cannot stand her. And that's definitely the point, because, you know, she's sided with Fisk. She's incriminating documents to try and make people seem like they're freaking, like, the real world parallels in this episode are freaking insane. Like,
yes,
the real, especially to today, the real world parallels are insane. But yeah, going back to Heather, it's like I said, I think of the previous review, especially with the way things are going, I really think the moment she cracks, especially since for some reason she has the mask, she is about to become a new incarnation of Muse. And it's like the seeds are there. It's like, I still don't know. Like, even with Fisk being the mayor, how did you get that mask? Where did you get that mask? You think you would have burnt that, or like how... That's funny. But no, like, you think Fisk would have done with it like Karen said Fisk would have done if he got his hands on Frank Castle, if he didn't escape and go over to Spider-Man? You would have hung him up and sing the praises. But no, she's got the mask, and I'm just like, yeah, no, she's about to become Muse, because she's about to crack under pressure, thinking Fisk is right, and under the pressure of almost dying from Muse last season. So, but yeah, there's a lot I could say, and there are also some choice words I could say for this character, not the actress, the character. But yeah, my mama raised me better, so I'm a not.
Well, my mama raised me right, and I got one thing to say to her.
I am sick. I am sick of your shit. And when I'm not sick, I'm tired. I am sick and tired.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it's a testament to the writing of this show, just because, again, I understand with character trauma, but not that she's, character dealing with trauma. She's also now a person in a position of power and influence, because now you're, especially in the legal system, again, where we're having, integrity in terms of our practices and stuff, and she is basically committing malpractice. And I think in a realistic way, as we've seen her argument with the other attorney here, just kind of, this is just a real world lawyer precinct, type of conversations of taking witness statements, of saying, going through trials and everything. Unfortunately, this is what I wanted to see on another lawyer show that didn't end well. That unfortunately, like, these are two female characters. Just the rawness, and again, going to the dialogue, the screenplay of this, I thought was very powerful here. But even going to in the beginning of this episode, where we left off with Daredevil and Karen basically taking the hostage that she got last episode, and got the dude basically trapped and trying to interrogate him, and going to her Punisher side of Karen's mentality, you know what I mean? And to a point where we're seeing also, because the language of this show, seeing how Daredevil's interrogating, and it's insane. I would say, just like, it's funny, but it's also like, it's also badass as well at the same time. Just to have that moment though of understanding where he's keeping all these I won't say call them hostages, but they basically are
prisoners.
Prisoners of at Red Keep. Red Hook. Red Hook. Yes. And I liked, now going into that, when they were going into Red Hook, I liked the cinematography of how, like, she has her eyes covered and everything, but yet we understand just by how when she's hearing what she's going while she's walking, like, okay, she's using information for Matt. And I
actually just made me think of something.
Yeah,
I almost kind of wish that while he was going through Red Hook, we would have heard her narration of where she was. But I guess they kind of conveyed that with Matt's senses, which is fine. But if I had a nitpick, this isn't even a flaw, it's a nitpick. I would have, it would have been nice to get, her voiceover of directing him of what she saw. I would have liked to have heard her perspective on that. But, again, minor nitpick at best.
Yeah. J. King, what you thought?
I mean, yeah, it probably would have also been nice to hear that, but I mean, still, it's probably the only thing I could say. I wouldn't call it a complaint for me. I would call it just maybe like a little addition, just, put a little bow on top of what was already a really, really impressive scene. And we could talk about that for hours, but I actually want to switch over to the trial of Jack Duquesne, of Swordsman, because it's funny that both in season 1 and this episode 3 is about the trial of a vigilante. Thank God this one does not end in a death, but still, the fact that we're seeing the duality of that, and just seeing like just how down in the dumpster the legal system is gone because of the Vigilantes Act, and everything that Fisk is doing to basically make sure that, hey, if I think he's a vigilante, he's not getting the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just how the difference between how they did Hector and giving him a fair one, even with him being revealed as White Tiger, to the speculation, even though of course we know it's true, that Jack is Swordsman, and not even giving him a chance, and just being like, no, you're going to be our scapegoat. You're going to be our, martyr. As he even said, he is the example to all of the other vigilantes that you can't, or all other superheroes in New York, that you can't mess with Fisk. And it's just like, the duality of that is just insane to think about. But what did you think about that?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was actually just thinking that same thing of how, the third episode of season 1 was a trial for a vigilante, ends with the vigilante getting cleared. The vigilante dies. This episode, trial of vigilante, but we know full well he's a vigilante, even though there's no concrete proof in that legal setting that he is the vigilante they're claiming to be. And they basically give him a hatchet job of a fucking trial, and they're like, no, you're guilty, you're him. It's, again, J. King mentioned that the real world similarities are eerie. That's one. There's something with the boat that happens at the end of the episode, very real world. But important to the trial, I think it's very interesting that even though the swordsman was convicted and, labeled guilty, the episode ends with a literal uprising of Daredevil. As I mentioned when we were watching it, the rebirth of the new White Tiger. And they have effectively, in the honor of Hector Ayala, saved all the people from the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. If there is no better way to honor a hero, I don't know what is. Because let me tell you, that Wonder sequence, I thought the oneer in the opener of season 1 was great. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I think this might top it. Granted,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's very hard to top that oneer from season 1 of Netflix. This one comes very close, in my opinion, because if they used multiple camera cuts, they did a damn good job of editing it all together and make it look seamless.
Yeah, and I felt
with that.
Yeah, and you know what's powerful about that is that even with White Tiger is like how he went out and who it was
And
from.
who did it.
Like,
Yeah.
that group, and then only to have it, have her assist in terms of escaping these people, which is I believe is her mother or aunt.
Aunt.
Oh, okay.
It's Hector's
Yes.
widow, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hector's widow, but
sister,
Angela's
something like
aunt.
that. Yes.
Yeah, and also we're getting the evidence as well as the way to use this for a potential, trial of evidence of them smuggling weapons and everything. I thought that was really the detail in that. I thought was that, and also using the knife as well. That was good. But also having the swordsman now, seeing him in action alongside with Daredevil as he was escaping all the prisoners in there. Again, he didn't have no sword, but he got something close to it. Yeah. Now I don't know if we're ever going to see him in we saw video footage for him, going out there.
Yeah,
and stuff
but
like
it was
that.
but it was like streetwear, wasn't his classic. Which even if they did, I feel like they would have to go the Hawkeye route and like retrofit it to look not as goofy as it could. I mean, his costume's cool, but it's like I don't know if the MCU would want to go that route with him in this type of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the costumes in the Daredevil show, or even just the Disney Plus shows, it kind of varies from character to character, right? Like, you know, Hawkeye traditionally in the comic books, for the most part, up until the modern age, he had like a Batman cowl, sort of, right? But that has been since retired. I think the swordsman, I haven't actually looked at what the swordsman looked like in comics recently.
I mean, in the comics, he's still technically dead, but even when he does come back or does show up, which I remember the last time, he still looks like how he looked like when he was introduced. But I still feel like they would, even if they wanted to give him a mask and a proper costume, I think they would have to the MCU would have to modernize.
You kind of need
it
a
for the
reason,
first
right?
time. Yeah.
Now, I'll also say this again. This is the third episode. I know I'm not trying to be greedy, but someone hasn't showed up yet, and I thought they were going to show up at the end, but that was just me. Also, when Karen was going over, down to the alleyway or whatever, and it would find White Tiger, I thought, it was Jessica. That's just me. I'm being nitpicky. But I'm just saying.
I feel like
it's okay.
I feel like we're close. I feel like we're close to Jessica showing up, though. It could be next episode for all we know.
Right.
True.
But yes, where we left off in terms of them having all the prisoners and having this victory, yet Kingpin still has the ace up his sleeve, which is shown what Matthew Lillard's character said. So, hey, listen, I can, get you, laborers and stuff like that, and I can make it go away just like that, accidents and all that stuff, right? And basically, it was the night crew who were just doing, honest work. They didn't know what they were doing. They're just like, hey, we're just doing a job so we can pay for our families. Can we just go home? We've done it. No, stay here. And and again, they're gonna be using martyrs just as a way of like, look, this is what the vigilantes have done and all this stuff and everything. And again, I cannot wait for I forgot the main guy from the anti-vigilante group. I'm waiting. What's his name?
Powell, and the other one's called North, but Powell, the one Matt punched up.
Powell. Yes, that's the one I am waiting to see meet his end, and I hope we get return of John Bethal back just for that moment.
You almost wonder, right? Because there have been conflicting reports of whether or not he's going to show up, and I feel like that conversation that Matt and Karen have is very indicative of like, he could, he might,
right.
I don't know. Like, why do you say we can call him?
Right, it's like we could call him. It's like we know he's over here. Like we know he obviously has to still be in New York because he's in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. And as of the time of this recording, we've seen the trailer now, so it's like we know he's there. It's just the question of like, what's he doing? That's for the
And
Punisher
where
special, but still,
Right.
like, where is he currently? And it's like, and especially given the fact that the closeness between the Daredevil Born Again crew and the Spider-Man Brand New Day crew, who knows? There is a very likely chance that there could be some more interlocking than we know, and Frank could indeed show up. I would not put it past him to show up, even if it was for like one quick moment. But yeah.
But yeah, I will just say though, this is a huge kind of cliffhanger to see where we go here in going into episode 4. But I have to say, just in terms of momentum that we are moving, it feels good to be back, and it's kind of hitting close to home of the Netflix today. So I'm not trying to jump the gun, no pun intended. Yeah, you know, having high promises and then kind of like, oh, I'm just whelmed, you know.
I mean, the pacing this season feels a lot more brisk and smooth than season 1, obviously. You know.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. But make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below of episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again. And we'll be back next week for episode 4, which for us will be in 2 minutes. But anyway, see you guys. See you guys next week. All right, peace.